Okay, so I have this chart in front of me. It's titled The Two Paths of Love. And honestly, it looks less like a psych diagram and more like a map of heaven and hell.
It's an intense visual, for sure.
Huh?
It basically breaks down the idea of love into two completely opposite directions.
Yeah, and it's not just romantic love, right? It's framing it as a fundamental choice you make in life. On the left, you've got the love that takes, it's all dark, chaotic.
And on the right, the love that gives, which is, bright and golden and full of abundance.
The taking side is pretty grim. I mean, there are literal storm clouds.
Yeah.
But what got me was the definition. It says this path is just a focus on receiving love.
Which sounds so normal.
Exactly. We all want to feel loved. But the chart argues that's the whole trap.
It is. The idea is if your default setting is just input, you're waiting for a partner, a parent, anyone to give you that feeling, you're basically starting from zero. You're operating from a place of lack.
And this is where it brings in the concept of attachment. It even gives a nod to Buddhist teachings. But, I mean, isn't attachment just caring?
Not in this context, no. Here, it's more about clinging. It's treating love like this finite resource that you have to pull from other people to feel okay.
I see.
And that leads to what the chart calls scarcity and suffering. Because if your happiness depends entirely on what someone else does or doesn't give you, you're not really loving. You're just using them to fill a hole.
That's a really harsh way to put it, but it does explain the next term it uses, lovesickness.
Mm-hmm.
It describes a world where everyone wants to receive and no one gives.
It's like a potluck, where everyone shows up with an empty plate hoping someone else brought the food.
And nobody did, so everyone just starves and gets angry.
That's lovesickness in a nutshell. It's an economy of emotional scarcity.
Which, according to this, leads to the hellish mind.
That sounds a little dramatic, doesn't it?
It's dramatic, but I think it's effective. It's really just describing envy.
Okay, yeah, looking at the text, it's about envying the happiness of others. It's that zero-sum game idea. If you're happy, that must mean there's less happiness available for me. And we've all felt that. You scroll through social media, you see someone's perfect vacation, and that little pit forms in your stomach. That's the hellish mind at work.
So let's talk about the off-ramp. The right side of the chart, the love that gives, the whole vibe is different. Open hands, blooming flowers.
But here's the kicker.
The definition. It's giving without expecting anything in return. That feels almost impossible.
It's the hardest part. Because if you give something just to get gratitude or recognition back, you're not really giving.
You're just trading. You're still on the taking side.
Exactly, you're bartering. True giving, as the chart defines it, is just compassion, an act of mercy with no strings attached.
And it makes a huge promise. It calls this the first step on the path to heaven. Now, is that like a literal heaven, or are we talking metaphorically?
I definitely read it metaphorically. It's the direct opposite of that hellish mind. The result it lists is happiness and fulfillment.
Because you're no longer waiting to be filled up.
Right. You become the source. You switch from scarcity to abundance.
Which brings us to the heavenly mind. The description here is the exact inverse of envy. It's genuinely rejoicing when other people succeed.
It's the ultimate happiness hack, really. If you can only be happy about your own success, your chances for joy are pretty limited.
But if you can be genuinely happy when your friends win, or even strangers win,
Your opportunities for joy become infinite. You're tapping into a limitless supply.
So really, if you strip away all the imagery, the core message is about agency. The taking path is passive. You're helpless, waiting for the world to give you something.
While the giving path puts you completely in control, you don't have to wait for anyone to change. You just have to change the direction of the flow, from in to out.
You know, it really makes you think about loneliness differently. We tend to think we're lonely because no one is giving us love.
Right. But what if this chart is correct? What if deep loneliness is actually just a symptom of waiting?
Of standing around with that empty plate instead of just starting to cook something yourself.
I think that's exactly it.
Wow, something to chew on. Thanks for this deep dive.
Anytime.